it's over now. You see here it's showing success with the IP address. So this tool, what it did, it created two Kubernetes clusters on AWS platform, on AWS cloud, and it installed PortWorx on those two clusters, created a Metro cluster, installed one application in those clusters. It's a tiered application, multi-tiered application with a database. And we're going to show how a DR works, like disaster recovery. So in this demo, I'm going to show the disaster recovery part of the application. So if you see briefly what it does, I just created the command with px deploy, create -n name and the template as Metro cluster. So it provisioned all the required infrastructure, VPCs, securities, subnets, IP addresses, all the things required. In fact, the NAT, private subnets, public subnet, and the security groups, the required security groups, and the required load balancers. Everything, if you see here on my AWS account. So this is the VPC was created, and you will see here it deployed the application. But before that, let's see what it did. So, and how to access my Kubernetes clusters. So px deploy can connect to one of my cluster, that the master. So px deploy connect to -name, that is -n, and give the deployment name. So px deploy connect -n pnayak1. This is going to connect to one of the master node. You see here it is connected to master 1, right? And this is where I can execute my kube, and it has got obviously it has got a kubectl command installed already in the master node. So I can kubectl or kubectl get nodes. If you just write, you can see all the details of the cluster. You see here we have a master node and 3 worker nodes. And if you want to connect to the other master node, you can actually do SSH here, or let me do is divide this screen, and I can just connect to the other master node here, right? So I connect to the Linux machine first, then I do px deploy connect -n. So this is first I'm going to connect to my first cluster, master 1, and here I'm going to do SSH to master 2. So here you see here I'm connected to master 1, right? Master 1, and this is master 2. So here you can check the kubectl, and here kubectl get nodes. So this is master 1 and this is master 2, right? So I have 2 separate clusters running. Let's see what are the nodes running, what are the pods running. Kubectl get pods -a will give me all the pods running in this, right? So let's see here, or maybe I can divide differently. Okay, so this is better. So that we can see it very clearly, right? So this is px deploy connect 1. Okay, SSH master 2. So now here we have master 1 and master 2. Get ports -a, and here we can see kubectl get ports -a. Right? You see here both the clusters are running the PortWorx cluster. You see here the Metro cluster, this is running, and PortWorx API is running. The PBC controller is running, Prometheus is running, and there is another application called Stork. I'll tell what it is little later. Stork is also running. The Stork application, actually this is a tool which is used for creating the migrations, and obviously the cluster for the DR. So let's perform the DR. So what it is doing, so let's see, kubectl get namespaces. kubectl. Here there is a PortWorx namespace is running. It's created. So kubectl get ports -n PortWorx, right? So you see here all the PortWorx related applications and services are running in this namespace, right? And well, if you see here kubectl get svc, sorry, there is a pet clinic application is running, right? And you see here, this is the application and this is the database. Pet clinic database is running MySQL and the application is running in the web server, and is exposed with 30333 port. And if you see here on AWS platform, we have a load balancer. Go to EC2, and we have a load balancer running, and that is being pointed to, if you see here, instances. These are all in-service instances connected to node 1, cluster 1. These are the in-service, and they are not connected to, that means you see here the pods which are running, which are all actually, it is pointing to node 2 or the cluster 2 or the master 2, with the master 2 which is controlling the second cluster. It is out of service. This is proof that the application which we are running here is actually connecting to node 1. Okay, that is node 1, 2 and 3 in the first cluster. So let's take it the DNS name and see what the application is. This is the pet clinic applications. Let's put some data into it, right? So find the owner. You see I'm not here. So what I'm going to do is add a owner. I'll add myself. And my name is Panchaleshwar Nayak. Address, I'll give something. I stay in Edison, New Jersey. In J. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Add the owner. So we'll see that the data which I just put here, you see here I am added new data. I add it and I can refresh. I'm there, right? So, and this is running in the 3 worker nodes: master 1, node 1, 1, node 1, 2, so on and so forth, right? Node 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, node 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. So these are the 2 separate clusters, master 1 and master 2. Okay, this is terminated. So in my previous one, this is running the current one, right? So we saw our application is running. Now let me do one thing. Let me kill the nodes. So with that, I'm going to simulate a disaster. I'm going to destroy all the running nodes in cluster 1. So here, running nodes, be careful. Node 1, this is running 1, 1, and node 1, 2, and node 1, 3. I'm going to delete or destroy these 3 nodes. Well, I'm not going to destroy the master for this demo, though in actual demo this we can also destroy the master one, but because I'm running one vital piece of software that it's a daemon cluster, it's CD cluster that I'm running here, so I cannot delete it. If I delete the master node, it's not going to work for this demo, but in actual, if you have a separate daemon cluster and you will install your PortWorx environment using that daemon cluster, then you can also delete the master one. So, but here I'm not going to delete it for this demo. So I'll terminate these instances 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. Terminate, and it's shutting down, and just refresh this. You see that I'll be no longer able to access this application. You see here, I just refreshed it. I'm no longer, and I can check that from here if my pods are running. So it is I can see that this is still there, but actually it is not there. Can I see if kubectl get nodes, right? Kubectl get nodes. So not ready. You see here, it is not ready. That means it's deleted. So now what I have to do is I have to do a migration of these applications from cluster 1 to cluster 2, right? Here, kubectl get pods -a. Of course it's there, but let's say SPC. So external IP none, and now let us see if what happened to our load balancer? The listener's instance is out of service. That means it's not connected, right? So what we have to do here is go to cluster 2 and let's do one thing. Before that, let's check our pods. There is no pod here. You can check. There's no application pod here, right? So